Welcome to the Jeremiah Show. My special guest today is the artist Tsola.
Hello, everyone.
Fittingly, hello, a fittingly beautiful name to match her artistry.
Oh, thank
She's
you.
a professional dancer. She's a model and an alternative neo-soul singer-songwriter. Her debut album is called Winning Streak. Tsola began dancing at 5 and professionally with artists such as Pharrell Williams, Rihanna, and backup dancing led to being one of the 8 singers in an all-women choir for Beyoncé. Wow, that's got to be a thrill. She's currently on The Voice, season 26 on Team Reba. And you might say she's on a winning streak. Welcome, Tsola.
Hello, hello.
So nice to see you and so nice to have you. And congratulations on your success on The Voice.
Thank you
We
so
just
much.
opened up the show with blind auditions, and Reba saying very nice things about you.
Yes, it really was surreal. I was like fighting back tears the whole time.
Oh, really?
Absolutely, absolutely.
You got that emotional. It was really that special
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, it got emotional a few days prior. All of our friends and family came. My sister and my good friends came. And when I saw my sister, I cried. She was like, "Why are you crying?" It's like, "I'm just so happy." That's all I said to her, just the gratitude was
Yeah.
immense. Yeah.
And that's a big part of your life, isn't it? Being grateful and gratitude and giving back and giving as much as you get it. You've led a
Absolutely.
really incredible life, and I want to hear all about it over the next
Yeah.
over the next few minutes. But do me a favor, pronounce for me because it looks so beautiful when I read it. Your full name, but I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to butcher
I
it.
was hoping you would ask. I really was. All right. So I go by Shola, but my full name is Oritsetsolaye.
Okay, I
Yes.
might have to
And yeah.
practice that a few times.
Yes. I usually have to break it down phonetically for people, but I'm more than happy to.
Or Cholet,
Orishe,
Orishe. It's just
Shala,
beautiful.
okay, Shola, and then A.
It's so pretty. It's so
Thank you.
and the spelling is beautiful too. How
Thank
came you
you.
now the next your next name? I could pronounce that.
Yes. And then Shola, the infamous Shola, because the T always trips people up, but it's pronounced Shola, but spelled Tsola.
And then Alexandria,
Yeah, it's my middle name. It's my grandma's name.
pretty name.
Yeah.
And last name, how do you say that correctly?
Akuya.
Akuya. Okay.
Yes.
What is it? So you're Nigerian descent, your ancestry, which you're very
Oh,
proud of and should be. And it sounds like they're all very proud of you right now,
yeah,
as
they
they
really
should
are.
be.
Yeah.
Um, have you come back down to earth after some of these accomplishments, especially the latest on The Voice? Are you have you come back down to earth? Are you grounded? Or are you always just floating on to the next thing and reaching for the next star?
I love that question. I feel like where I find the most success is staying grounded,
Hmm.
just because a lot of the opportunities I've gotten to experience over the years definitely have been just absolute gifts from God. So I find that when I'm in the clouds, I miss the nuances of the goodness surrounding the reality. So it's really cool. I told myself to make sure I got back to every comment on social media, every text, every person that was reaching out, just to remind myself how special this moment is and how much it meant through the nervousness, through the processes. So I think for me, staying grounded allows me to really, really see that this is actively presently happening, and it's pretty incredible to be my experience.
Is very incredible. What did you dream about? And by the way, that you reach out to everybody and that you answer everything. How long do you think
Yeah.
you can keep that up?
I will keep it off as long as I have the energy to. I got kind of tired, but I really wanted to make sure, like, I see you. Thank you for seeing me. That's my biggest thing. Thank you
Yeah.
for seeing me. I appreciate that.
Well, your fans, I imagine, really do appreciate that because a lot of times there's so many comments and so much going on that how can you ever get back to everybody? But you're making time for them and space for them, and that's just really great as an artist. I'm sure it really binds and creates this special relationship between you and your fans.
Yeah, I think it's a good reminder. Sometimes as artists, or really as people, whether you're in corporate or in creative, the numbers are so important. But when you niche down, you see that these are people, they're individuals. And, I think sometimes we can get lost in really large ones, but, 20 people is in a room, like a closet is a lot of people. So I wanted to make sure that I saw each individual human being rather than a number or like an Instagram handle name, because a lot of them are people I know who have been very supportive, strangers who come in and stop their lives to show some support. And that's just really special to me because it just shows me that what I'm doing, even if it wasn't perfect per se, vocally, or maybe something was out of a line with my outfit, it's just cool to see the connectivity of me being authentically myself can make someone stop dead in their tracks and be like, I need to communicate, and that's an honor. That's an honor.
It's such a lost art form too. I think that real communication, even if it's still through an app or through social media, just to get back to people, just to talk to people and as you said, see them, see your fans, see them as people. I think it's such a lost art form that's sad that it's gone away a little bit. So, but I'm so
Yeah.
happy to hear that you're keeping that alive. And has there been ever a fan story or someone that reached out to you that really touched you with their story or really made an impression?
Yeah, I did a show, I would say, I believe last year in California, I did a show, and one woman came up to me with her friend. Everyone comes to say, great job. So I'm just kind of waiting, talking to my band and my homies that came. And one young
Bringing
lady
you
came up to,
roses.
yeah, and I love flowers so much. And so one
So
lady,
stop there for a second. I'm sorry to interrupt your train of thought. When someone brings you flowers after a performance, what do you like what should they bring you? Your
oh my
your
gosh,
future fans to the shows are
I
listening.
definitely like the classic red roses. I also love sunflowers,
Yeah.
and I really like daffodils. I think the name's silly, so I like them, but definitely between sunflowers and roses for sure.
Okay. So back
Classic.
if you remember the question, if you remember before I interrupted you.
Oh yeah. So yes, this a cool fan story. One young lady and her friend, when I was in California, drove 2 hours to come to my show out of town, and she came up to me and was like, I live 2 hours out of town in like Orange County, and I found your music off SoundCloud and been listening ever since. And I was just so incredibly humbled is the word that comes to mind, because sometimes in this huge world of an ocean where everyone's doing something major, you just feel so small sometimes. So for this random young lady and her friend to see me and connect with me off of, maybe at the time I had about less than like 5 songs on my SoundCloud, it just reminded me that I'm doing this for the right reason. I'm really am in my God-given gift and calling to connect with people, and I'll never forget her. And I just thank her for even telling me that, because
Yeah.
she was just
And
left.
and traveling, you're right. And it's the same kind of when someone reaches out to you with a message, if they take the time, we're also pressed with time. If they take the time because you mean or have affected them that greatly, you've got to respect that. You've got to admire that or honor that. I think it's going to
Absolutely.
get hard though. Your rule, because your fans are growing, your numbers are growing every day, and
Yeah.
but it
I'm gonna
is
try my best. Yeah.
a beautiful thing. Well, so is there pressure? Like, tell me what it's like to be to honor your heritage, being Nigerian, growing up in your family, and some. Give me a picture of what that means, and is there pressure to represent or do you not feel the pressure? You just are authentically yourself, and that's the message you're giving out, you're putting out there.
Yeah, for me, I feel so incredibly blessed with the what's the word I'm thinking, like the luck of the draw when it comes to
Mhm.
parents and Nigerian African American ones. Rest in peace to my mom. She just recently passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm
She passed,
sorry.
yeah, she just passed away like about a month ago. And I, without her, I couldn't have been myself. You know, her, sorry, still very
Mm,
fresh. Her
yeah.
allowance, I just want to honor her for a second. Her allowance to break societal norms, you know, coming from Nigeria and coming here and having 4 kids and looking for more in her life and seeing something in me. And like she put me and my older sister in dance classes because she just wanted us to have like a girly hobby. And then it
Mm,
stuck with me forever.
no,
And
well, sweet.
the, you know, so it was just cool to have her, you know, pay for my dance classes, take me to dance class, come to the shows. And even when I was a dance major in college, which was very unheard of in our culture, it's like we always hear the stereotype of a lot of Africans being doctors or lawyers, which is true, but I think it's more so something that feels more realistic and stable. So at the time, none of us around us were artists and really saw that we can make a substantial living based off of our work as an artist. And I remember telling her, like, don't worry, I'll be a dance teacher, knowing that I was going to pursue dance as a performer. But I was just trying to ease her mind because I wasn't really sure what it was going to look like either, you know, but I
Was
knew I
she
was going to do
worried?
it. She wasn't necessarily worried. She just was
She
like,
she just wanted you to be safe and be taken care of and be able to take care of yourself, right?
every
Or she
parent wants
worried?
their
Yeah.
child, you know? So it was definitely cool to have her be with me in the process. And she would only tell me, like, you know, like, if this is what God has for you to do, like, I will not step in your way and I'll support you. And she really did that up until the day that she passed. And even when I was a dance major in college and I left school, which is unheard of to leave school to move to California, I brought my dance contract to her that I just got via an audition. And she looked over it and she put it down and she nodded. And I just started crying. Once again, she's like, why are you crying? I said, I'm just so happy. I'm a happy crier. And the rest really has been history. And I've gotten to honor her. She's gotten to come to California and show the whole family. And it's so cool to see her allowance and me being myself and how that has affected our entire family and lineage. Because now a lot of us are not afraid to step into that
Yeah.
unknown because it is unknown. We didn't know what
Yeah.
we're going to do. I didn't think I
Yeah.
was going to do anything. I just knew that I loved to dance, and that was all I
Right.
knew. And I thank
And
her. Rest in peace.
was that validation when you broke down, when you brought her your contract, was that validation for not only her putting you into something that you have now turned into a successful career and introducing you to that in dance classes for a girly thing turned into this love, lifelong love and a profession now. And when you brought her that contract and you broke down, um, had there been a lot of fear for you up to that point of I know I'm choosing this path that's not um, the normal path that maybe I should, or maybe other people expect for me, but there must have been a lot of pressure on you. And did that get released with that contract? Did you feel validated and you were happy?
You know, for some odd reason, I was a child that when I faced conflict, it just very much unfazed me when it came to my pursuit and love for dance. There was just this knowing and deep down that it didn't matter what happened. If I had to make a pivot, it didn't matter. We're still on the path.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was something that allowed me to feel any differently than what I already felt. I generally think that the contract was a manifestation of the calling, of the weight of it,
Hmm.
especially being from Maryland, a small town in Silver Spring. We both were just like, this is what we've known, but this is what it's going to look like. And this is just the seed of it, and which is like mind boggling to think. So it was really cool because we both knew. We always, my mom and I had this cool, like, unspoken understanding all the time. We just have this look and not the nod. Like, you
Hmm.
know, it's going to get pretty cool going on. So that's how I
It's
feel
gonna
about
get
that.
pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that. Where does that confidence come and that strength? Does that come from your mother, do you think?
Absolutely comes from my mom. We're all both Christian. She gave me, you know, more so, I would say, open the door to let me choose. Never was forced on me. So, you know, growing up in church and her serving and serving our family and serving anyone, like, she would always give to the poor. If someone needed something, she was always giving. And I think getting to watch her be authentic and see how she was loved allowed me to really choose my faith. And a lot of my faith and identity is in Jesus Christ. So I think doing that and seeing how he's been like navigating my path has been really cool to stay firm in that foundation. And I really can't say once again, like it came from just her doing that for herself and being a great example for me.
Oh, it's amazing what a parent can teach and what you remember. Maybe you reflect on afterwards. Did you ever, were you able to tell her how much you respected and she felt that she knew that?
Yeah, it was really cool. I feel like I was able to really get really close with her as a friend rather than like a parent-child relationship. So I was able to just, it was so cool to see how I got to express verbally gratitude. Because once again, I feel like it's not only an African thing, but it's really hard for immigrant families to really express I love you, so I'm thankful. It's just weird. Like we all know that we are so grateful for each other, but no one says it. And
Why is
I don't
that?
know. I don't know. I think it's just a discomfort of being vulnerable. I
Yeah.
think I think it's that because we all truly genuinely feel it. It's like I would go hug my sister. She's like playfully pushing me away, but it's like I always come in and bear hugging everyone because I just have so much love to give and to express. And honestly, it really does come, like you said earlier, from gratitude. So it was really cool to sit down and, talk to her and thank her and say, thank you for opening this door for me and letting me be me. And even thank you for being patient when you didn't understand, when things weren't going great, because it doesn't always go great. And you were just being a protected mom and you're allowing me to find it out and explain to you. And even though you didn't agree all the time, it was just really cool that you're, with me and fighting with me and finding it out even when I decided to change paths or whatever. So I do thank her and I'm so grateful that I got to like let her ears hear that.
What is her name? Let's say her name. I want to pay honor to
Yes.
her.
Thank you for wanting to do that. Her name is Mabel Akuya.
Abel Akuya. Well, I thank her the for whatever part she played in, and it sounds like pretty major parts in your life to continue on the path. It's not always an easy one. It's got a lot of holes in it that can trip you up and doubt and things like that. And you've created this beautiful, beautiful album. I was telling you offline. I talked to this week Frank, who produced Soul Vision, and with Jill Scott, Anthony Hamilton, and a bunch of artists. Through his career, he's been a producer. And when I heard the album, it was an EP. The first one that came out as an EP, and I said part one, and it was honestly my favorite album I'd heard all year long. And I hope he's not listening, but yours may have replaced it. I got yours a couple days later. Frank, I'm sorry, but I love both of them. I'll put them on one after another.
Yes.
But it's such, and immediately made me say, I've got to introduce you to him because I think he would just love your album if he hasn't already heard it.
Yeah.
So I
Oh, that
want
makes me so happy. That's a huge honor. So thank you for that. Thank you.
and I'm going to repeat what I said in reply to that is thank you for the gift because it's a gift and it came from you. It's something you've created with all your years of experience in the various challenges that you've had and ups and downs. And you really put out something and produce something that will stand. It's going to be there a long time. The album is strong, and I think it
Thank
will
you.
be, one of those albums that people turn to over and
Thank
over and
you.
over.
Wow, that's incredible to hear. Thank you so much.
Before we leave your mother and the topic, was there something that I've kind of been thinking about this a lot with my great
Mhm.
grandmother, my mother, and the holidays coming up, cooking and the kitchen. And do you like to cook? Are you a good cook?
No, I'm not even
No.
going to lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it.
Did your mom have something that was like a dish that was home to you that she made for you
The funny thing about
that
my
you're
mom, she is the most incredible cook ever, but she didn't really enjoy the actual action of cooking, which is so funny because she was so talented at it. But we have this dish, it's called jollof rice. A lot of Africans have their own thing. So Nigerian jollof rice, I mean, No one makes it better than her. So I think we're going to miss her home cooked meals, probably one of the most things of her for sure. For
Did
sure.
you did you get the recipes? Do you are you did she teach you how to make that dish so that you
You
can
know,
try to make it even if you don't?
this is why God is so good because a couple of years back, I think even last year actually, I was recording her making jollof rice. I don't know what I she would cook all the time and she would get mad at me when I was a kid and say, "You never want to come learn, like come watch." And for some reason, I was like, "Let me just record and just because one day I'm gonna want to make it." So I literally have it on my phone to this day.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
awesome.
Lord. Yeah, her
Yes.
like talking me through it, and she's telling me what to do. So I can't wait to try it out, and I hope I can get a little bit close to how good hers was for sure.
Oh, that's so cool that you did that. Okay, we're going to
Yes.
take our first break here and go out to the break with your listening to the album. But first, I want to tell everybody and let everybody know that NBC's The Voice season 26 is out now. It's airing now, featuring Shola. She's on Team Reba. Hip hop and jazz icon Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé join legendary returning coaches Gwen Stefani and Reba McEntire for an incredible new season. This superstar, genre defying coach panel will guide the country's best undiscovered artists from the thrilling blind auditions through the spectacular live performances. And in the end, one unforgettable new singer will be crowned the voice. NBC's The Voice season 26 featuring Chola, Tom T. Reba, Mondays and Tuesdays, 8, 7 Central on NBC, and streaming the next day on Peacock. You can find The Voice on Instagram at NBC The Voice and follow them there. Okay, so we're going to go to break here. I'm going to pull up your soundtrack. It's beautiful soundtrack by Shola off the album Winning Streak, her debut album. We're going to go out. Uh, actually, we're going to go out with Holiday, which I don't, is Holiday on Winning Streak? Or is
No,
it,
it's a
it was
single.
a single. Yeah, it was
I think
like,
it's actually my first song I actually put on streaming platforms, actually, if I think about it.
really?
Wow, I think so, actually. Yeah.
Do you want to tell me anything about it or tell your fans anything about it? Is there anything um, that you remember when producing and putting out your first single? Anything you'd like to
Yeah.
set up?
Yeah, so with Holiday, I'm an avid driver. I love going for night drives and just looking at the scenic views. I always drive, and there was a
Yeah.
time in my life I was driving a lot in California, and I came across this amazing producer, and I was playing the Holiday song, and I loved the song and the beat so much, but nothing was coming to mind. So I would just drive to it and listen to it. And usually when I'm writing music, it comes to me very quick. So I didn't want to give up on this because I just felt I was like something's there. Then one day I was coming from like a dance class audition and I was stressed and I was like, man, I just need a break. I need a holiday. And I tell you what, like the whole song started going. I had to like pull over because I was trying to write down the lyrics because I was like, oh my gosh, because I think I heard from an amazing songwriter before, like catching lyrics of a song is like trying to catch a butterfly. You don't
Yeah.
catch it now, it's gone. So I had to like and just write it down and put it on my phone. And that's how Holiday became a song for sure.
Oh, that's a great story. So it's also it has to come to you when it comes to you, doesn't it? Is that part of your what you're learning as an artist that the music it will appear, but you can't push it. You can't pressure it. It's like a butterfly. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I forgot who I heard that from, but that's been really great for me to practice.
My special guest today again is Shola. Her debut album is Winning Streak. We're going to play it throughout this interview, and you can also listen to it after you fall in love with it, like I did on all music platforms or Spotify. And do yourself a favor and add the Winning Streak album to your playlist so it's ready to play when the time is right. It's a mood for sure. It's magical. You're going to see what I mean. To Solar System, TSO, I say T, but it's Shola, TSOLASYSTEM, sholasystem.com. That's her website. You can find all of her socials there and follow her and links to music and so much good stuff. The podcast we're going to talk about coming up and the modeling, so much great stuff to find there. It's a fun website to hang out on. You can also follow her at Instagram at TSOLAS Shola System. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.